talking about internet and email unit. So far we have covered some of the basic things or fundamental things about internet. Still we are in the internet part, because once the internet finished, then only you can move, or we can move to the email part. So better take a minute or two to remember the things which we studied earlier. So up to now we discussed about some of the basic things. We studied about the term internet, right? We learned the term World Wide Web. So we all know the relationship between internet and World Wide Web. And we also studied about ISP, Internet Service Provider. We studied about web browsers, right? We know the different, or the relationship between web page and websites. So all these things are very basic things, right? None of them are complex. Most of them are familiar to you, since you have been using the computer for some years. You have some experiences with those fundamental things. So in the last class, we started to discuss about URL. That may be one of the important part in this unit. Of course, in exams also, in examinations also, there may be many questions asked, right? So we have to understand everything related to URL clearly, right? Don't memorize anything, understand the fact, right? So let's take the URL once again. Right. So I hope just take a recap again. So a URL is an address for identifying a web page uniquely. You may have billions of web pages. To identify a web page specifically, there is an address needed. That address is called URL. I explained this in the last class, right? A URL may have many parts. We started to identify the parts, but didn't explain anything, right? I didn't explain their meanings or their descriptions and everything, but I explained the parts. So I explained how a part is identified, or how a student can identify a part, right? So look here. There is an example given for URL, HTTPS. There is a colon symbol and 2 forward slashes, www.parliament.lk. This is one of the URLs. Yes, it has parts, but better to discuss the parts in another example, right? Look here. This has already been discussed. HTTP www.nie.lk. So that HTTP is one of the protocols. Today I will explain about the term protocol, right? This is one of the protocols. There may be many protocols. HTTP is one. So HTTP is a protocol. Then www, we all know that it is World Wide Web. So it is the service of internet. So you may say World Wide Web. Even the term service is correct. In some books, you can find that service. They don't use the word World Wide Web. They use the word service. That may be correct, because service, www is one of the services of internet. So of course it's a service. So World Wide Web or service. Then nie.lk, right? nie.lk, that is called domain name. Okay, so I will explain the term domain name today, right? Then we moved to another example, right? HTTP www.google.com, similar to the previous one, but look here, the domain name has a different suffix. There is a suffix here, but that suffix was LK in the previous example, but here it is com, right? So HTTP is the protocol, www it's a service or World Wide Web, google.com is the domain name, right? Then we had another example, http www.nie.lk. Yes, same example, but I wanted to list, or I wanted to introduce another part. Okay, http, what is it? Protocol. www, it's service or World Wide Web. nie.lk, it's domain name. The last part of the domain name, right? The last part of the domain name, which means after dot, right? So that is LK here. That LK is known as top level domain name. Today I will explain the term TLD2, right? Top level domain name. Here it's LK, right? After dot. Okay, so today I have to explain this. I didn't explain this example in the last class. So let me explain this example, right? Okay, this is another URL. Of course, it is an address for accessing a single page. There may be a page which can be accessed by this using by this address. HTTP, what is it? It is protocol. www, it is the service. nie.lk, right? nie.lk, it's domain name. So what is number 4? LK, that is top level domain name. Okay, look here, the last part, exam.html. exam.html, that is called web page name, or sometimes called resource name, right? Web page name or resource name. It's very simple. You can understand even without showing one real web page. You can understand. See, assume that it is the URL for a web page, right? Web page is nothing. It's a document. So when you design that web page, like when you type a document or when you create a document in MS Word, you give a file name, right? So assume that you typed a document in MS Word and gave a file name like letter.docx, right? Letter.docx. What is it? That is the file name given for your MS Word document. Similarly, we are talking about a web page. So assume there is a web page designed. There may be so many techniques used for designing a web page. So they design a web page. So once the designing work completed, they definitely have to give a name, right? So here, according to this example, they gave exam.html. This seems to be in our day-to-day life, we create many files in MS Word or Excel or PowerPoint. So according to, if I take my previous example, they are letter.docx, here exam.html. So that is letter, MS Word, so I can call it as a document or file. But here it's a web page, so this can be web page name. Web page is a resource, right? So it can be called resource. If they have another page, right? So assume that they have another page. So they may give, once they design the page, they may give another name like result.html, right? Result.html. So if that page has results, so that would be the meaningful name, result.html. So this is how the web page name is given for web pages. So every web page may have a name, right? So try to understand that fact. Here, exam.html, I will show some real examples later. Exam.html is the web page name, right? So let's take the parts again. It's a protocol, number 1. Number 2, World Wide Web or service. Number 3, nie.lk. Number 4, number 3, domain name. Number 4, top level domain name. And number 5, it is web page name, resource name. Even you can call that as file name, right? It is the file. Web page is nothing, it's a file. So it's a file name. Any word can be possible, but according to your book, they suggest this word resource name, right? So better to stick with the book because, you know, when it comes to examinations, So they always focus on the words which are included in your book, textbook, right? So for our safety purposes, better to use the words given in the book, right? So it is resource. Here exam.html is a resource, right? Okay, I will explain a real example later. Okay. Okay, then look here. Look at this example. First one. HTTP www.edupgb.gov.lk. Right? So this URL seems to be complex than the previous one. So look at the previous one, HTTP www.nie.lk, right? But here, www.edupgb.gov.lk. So what is the protocol? Okay, HTTP. www, it's a service, right? There is no issue. So what is the domain name here? So hope you remember the method which I suggested on the other day to identify the domain name. So how to identify the domain name? Generally, domain name starts next to www, right? So next here, look at them, www dot. So after that particular dot, your domain name starts. So definitely edupgb, right? It's a domain name. It can be up to the slash, right? It can be up to slash. If there are no slashes, definitely it must be up to the last point, right? So I repeat again, your domain name starts right after www, right? So where the domain name starts here, edupgb, right? So look here, it can be up to the slash. Does it have any slashes? No, right? There are no slashes. So your domain name can be up to the last point, right? So what is the domain name here? edupgb.gov.lk. You cannot say that it is edupgb.gov because that lk also there. So here there are two different parts available, three different parts available here, edupgb, gov, lk. But if it is a normal domain name, simple domain name, generally nie.lk, right? Here, look here, only two parts, right? But this is also possible, right? So here, according to this example, it is domain name, right? edupgb.gov.lk. So tell me which is top level domain name? What is top level? How to identify the top level domain name? That must be the last part of the domain name, right? The last part of the domain name. So which is the last part of the domain name? LK, right? So LK is TLD, top level domain name. This GOV can be secondary level, but we don't have such things in our syllabus. So forget about that GOV, focus on LK, right? So GOV here, in this example, GOV is not TLD, right? LK is the TLD. Have you understood? This may be important because you may have different URLs in websites, right? So you should understand the method of identifying those parts. Okay. Right. Look here. Look at the other example. HTTP www.moe.gov.lk. This is similar to the previous one, right? So the previous one is the official website of Educational Publication Department of Sri Lanka. This is the second one is the official website of the Ministry of Education of Sri Lanka. HTTP www.moe.gov.lk. So what is HTTP? It's a protocol. What is www? Service or World Wide Web. Okay, which is domain name? Use my method, which is domain name. It must be right after the word www. So what is where it starts? MOE, and it can be up to the slash, first slash. Does it have any slashes? No, right? So definitely it must be up to the last point. So moe.gov.lk, right? moe.gov.lk, that is the domain name. So which is TLD, top level domain name. Is it GOV? No, it is LK. Have you understood? So it is domain top level domain name. Okay, right. Next one. This is slightly big URL, but you have to understand. HTTP www.moe.gov.lk/docx/pics/group.php. Okay, group.php. Let's identify the parts. Yes, as we discussed earlier, HTTP, it's a protocol. www service. We already identified the domain name. So what is domain name? moe.gov.lk, right? That's the domain name. So which is top level domain name? The last part of the domain name, right? So what is the last part? LK. Look here, up to slash, up to your first slash, right? It starts right after www, and it can be up to the first slash. There are many slashes. You can see there are 3 slashes. So it can be up to the first slash, right? So this is domain names, right? So I can draw a line to show that. So look here, this is domain, right? So which one is the top level domain name? That is LK, right? This LK is the top level domain name, right? Okay. Now look here, there are some other parts too in this URL, right? But we didn't have such parts, multiple parts in the previous URLs. But here, this URL has more than the things which we discussed earlier. So now I will tell you one simple idea or shortcut idea to identify the page, right? So generally, if it is a page, definitely it has an extension too, right? There should be an extension, file extension for the resource. We already discussed about resource, right? So what is the page here, right? So that must be the page, okay? Group.php. So we have to understand that this URL belongs to one web page, right? Because URLs are used for identifying the web page. So this page, right, this particular page is named as group.php. Earlier, in the previous example, we had HTML as extension. That is also for creating web page. PHP is also for creating web page. So group.php is the web page or file or resource name. So what are they? Docs, pics, docx, right? pics, what are they? Okay, I will explain. Look here, you have to wait because I will have to take a real right example, right? So then only you can understand. Okay, look here. Now I am in my computer. Listen to me carefully, right? I'm taking some time to explain. So I am in my local computer, right? There are no websites linked, or there are no websites opened. I am in my local computer, right? Now I will take, or I will identify a specific file in my computer. Listen to me very carefully, right? So I want a file in my local disk D, right? So I open the local disk D, and there are files inside. Okay, let me take one file. Okay, look here. I have a file called chapter2.docx. Keep watching, try to observe the mouse movement, right? Then you can capture everything clearly. So chapter2.docx, we already learned the file names and file extensions in grade 10, right? So hope you remember that. So this is file name. So where is this file? Look at the top, local disk D. So local disk D is nothing. It's a part of the hard disk. So in local disk D, I have this file chapter2. chapter 2.docx, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write, right? I'm going to write the path of this file, because this file is in my hard disk, right? I have D drive, I have C drive, I have many folders. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the path. Path means I'm going to show where my file is located, right? So let's see how to do this. I will write the path in a notepad, right? So listen to me carefully. So first of all, I have to mention the drive name, the hard disk drive name. Where is it? It is in D drive. So put the D, right? D, and put a colon symbol. You may put a backslash or forward slash, right? Doesn't matter. I put a backslash. D, I put D because my file is kept in D drive, right? So D. Then colon symbol, then slash. So look here. Inside of this D drive, I have my file. This file is not saved in any folder, right? Directly, right? Under D drive, I save this file directly. So now look at the path here, D colon slash. What does it mean? I am in the D drive. So look at the cursor is here. So which means I am in the D drive. So directly you can write the file name, chapter2.docx. .docx. This is how the file name of this one, right? This one, chapter2.docx is written. First of all, you have to mention the main location here. According to my example, the main location is D. Then my file name, right? Okay, wait. I will take another one. So here, look here. In the D drive, I'm in the same drive. In the D drive, I have some folders, right? These are folders. So now I'm going to open one folder. Okay, I'm going to open a folder. Let me open the folder elements. See, there is a folder called elements. I just want to open that. Okay, I want to open that. So here I have a file, right? I have a file. So there is a file name, 29/6/2015 price day, right? That is my file name. Now I want to write the path for this file name. Okay, I want to write the path of this file name. Okay, let's come. Tell me, what is it first? Your main location. Where is it? It is in D drive. So put the D, right? Then colon symbol, backslash. So what does it mean? Now I am in the D drive, right? I am in the D drive. But look here, this particular file is not directly saved in D drive. Where is this? Yes, it is in D drive. But what I'm trying to say is, it is not directly saved in D drive. Where is it? It is in a folder called elements. Have a look at this. There is a folder. So now you cannot write the file name here, right? You cannot write 29/6/2015 because under D drive there is a folder called elements. Look at the top elements. So now you have to write your file name, elements. Inside of that folder elements, you have this file name. So put the slash again, backslash, right? You need to have another backslash. Okay, so now you can give your file name. Right, so now I just copy and paste the file name, .docx. Have you understood? D drive is the main location. Element is the folder in which my file is kept. This is my file name. Clear? Understood? Previously, my file chapter2.docx was saved in D drive directly. It wasn't saved in a folder. Okay, right? Keep an eye on my work, right? So I will take another example, right? So what I'm going to do is I want to open this folder, one of the folder. Where am I? I'm in the local disk D. Inside of local disk D, I have a folder called elements. I am in the elements folder. Now there are two other folders too. They can be called subfolders, right? I want to open a particular subfolder. So let me open this folder, annual report, right? I just open the folder annual report 14/7/2014, right? So I want to open that particular folder. So once that folder open, I have some other files too, right? I have some other files. Okay, let me point a specific file, right? I want this file, 2/7/2014 price day.docx. Now I want the path for this file, right? So I want to write the path for this file. So how to write the path? So let's come back to my notepad. So which is the main location? Look there, local is D. So you have to put D, then colon symbol, backslash, right? Where is this particular file? Right, I want this file. Where is this file? It is in a folder called annual report for 14/7/2014. Where is that particular folder? It is in elements. You can easily observe the top part, right? You can understand. So now we have to write the main folder, right? Elements. Okay, now I am in elements slash. But look here, this file is not saved in elements. Where is this file, right? It is in a folder called annual report 14/7/2014. So now we are in elements folder. Inside of that element folder, you have another folder, right? So that is annual report 14/7. So now type the folder. This is folder. This is also folder. Elements is a main folder. This is subfolder. Inside of this folder, you have this file, right? Now I have to write the file. So I copy the file name and paste here. So this is, look here, this is file. Have you understood? So this is my file, right? This is the file which I talked about, 2/7/2014 price day.docx. If I open that particular file open, see, this is something related to MS Word, like your web page, right? There it's a web page, but here it is one of the MS Word document, right? So since it's a web page, they are HTML, right? HTML or some other extensions like PHP, but here it is a MS Word file. That's why we have docx. So this is my file. Where is this file? It is in a folder called annual report 14/7/2014. This is a folder. So come back to my location. So here you can go to the back and check it. Look here, annual report 14/7/2014. That is a folder, right? That is a folder. Where is this folder? Let's go back. That is in the main folder called elements. So come back. So this is a folder. That folder is available in elements. If you are able to understand this, definitely you can understand the URLs, the remaining parts of the URL. Right now I have to explain the remaining parts of the URL. So hope you all understood this idea. It may be very easy to understand because we all use our computer and we keep the files. So you should understand, or you should know where your files are, right? So you have the ability to write them like this, right, in a standard format. Okay, so even in a practical manner, you can easily identify this file, right? So look here, if I want to identify this file, just click on the top, right? Now click on it. Look here, D, the colon is there, slash there, elements there, slash annual report 14/7/2014. The whole path is there, only the file name has to be written at last, right? So if it is a practical, you can easily get it, right? Just click and see. This is how it works, right? You have to click on the top and then the path is visible, right? the slashes, those colons, all of them are automatically applied, right? You don't need to write. Even you can copy and paste, right? You can copy that path and paste somewhere in your notepad. I'm showing this in notepad because it's too easy to show you, right? Look at them, exactly same, except the last one, because we have to write the file name. Here there is no file name. The remaining paths are there. Okay, right. So now come back to my example. Look at the last one. Group.php, right? Group.php. What is it? It's a file name. Similar to my example, right? Here, this is my file name. Yes, I can call this as resource name. I cannot call this as page name or web page name because this is not web page. So I can't use the word file or resource. So similarly, when it comes to web page, this can be called file name or resource name or web page name, right? Okay. I already explained in the last class that all the web pages in the world are saved in web servers, right? All the pages, there may be billions of web pages, all of them are saved in web servers. Web server is nothing, it's a computer, right? Web server is a computer. So now I have shown you the path and everything in my local computer. But now remember, this web page is kept in, that is not local computer, that is a common computer which can be accessed by anyone. So that is also similar to my computer. It has hard disk, there may be hard and everything. So now come to the point. So group.php, what is it? It's a file name. That file name, right? I want to underline them. That file name is kept in PICS. What is PICS now? What is it? It's a folder, right? It is in a computer, so this is a folder. Similar to my example. In my example, I have that particular file, right? I have that particular file in a folder. So here, group.php is a file or it's a web page that is kept in pics. So pics is nothing. That's a folder name. I have given the name. You may give any name, right? So I have given pics. Where is that folder pics? It is in another folder called docx, right? So this pics is a folder. That folder is kept in docx. So docx, what? May be a main folder, right? That may be a main folder. So that folder is saved in the web server. You can imagine that this part belongs to web server. That is not wrong, right? You can guess it. That is, in my case, it's D drive, right? In my local computer, that is D. So here, this part may be the web server. So look here again. This is the web server in which there is a folder called docx. Under the folder or inside of the folder, there is another folder called pics. Inside of the pics, you have your web page called group.php. This is exactly same as my example, right? So in my example, look here again. This is the file name, right? That file is kept in a folder. In my example here, it is pics, right? But here, this is the folder annual report 14/7/2014. Where is this folder? This is in elements folder. That is another folder. So here, right, that particular pics is in another folder called docx. Docx is another folder, right? Where is this elements? It is in the hard disk D. Right? So here in my website example, where is this docx? It is in the web server. So this part belongs to web server. That's very simple. Right? So this is a folder, even this is also folder. What is it? This is web page, sorry, this is web page name or resource name or file name. Okay, right. Wait, I want to write another example, right? have a look at this. I want to write a URL, HTTP, right? Colon symbol, 2 forward slashes, www dot, let me type abc.com, right? abc.com slash download slash chapter dot pdf or something, right? Chapter dot pdf. Okay, so let's identify the parts. The reason for inserting this URL is for identifying the parts. You have to understand that's the one which I want from you. Okay, so HTTP is the protocol, www is the service. What's the domain name? abc.com, right? It can be up to the first slash, right? It starts after dot up to first slash. So abc.com is the domain name. What is com? TLD, top level domain name. So now tell me which is the file name or resource name or web page name? Chapter.pdf. PDF is extension. Actually, that is not a web page. The web page may have some other document also. So it is okay, right? PDF, it's a file name. Or even web page name, you can say web page name, right? So what is download? What is download? Download is a folder. So now we can understand that chapter.pdf is a web page. That web page is kept inside of a folder called download. Where is that download? That is inside of what? This computer, this web server. So this belongs to web server. This is a folder, and this is the file name. But in the previous example, we had two folders, right? docx is folder, picx is another folder, right? So now come to the point. Even though I used to call this docx and picx as folders, yes, folders, right? They are correct. But even you can call these two parts together as path, 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 because this shows where the file group.php is. Because of this docx and pics, we all can understand that group.php is in pics, pics in docx. So they show the path, right? So they show the location. So they can be called as paths, right? Together, both of them are together called path. Even you can call them as folders. There are no issue. But in your book, they use the word path because this can show your file original location, right? So that's why both of them, together both of them can be called as path. Okay, so this belongs to path. Group.php is the file name. LK is the top level domain name. moe.gov.lk is the domain name. www is the web service. HTTP is the protocol, right? So have you understood such things? So these are important. You have the ability to identify the parts, right? Right. So now come back, and we have to understand the words one by one. Up to now we don't know what the term protocol is, right? We identified the protocol. You all can identify the protocol HTTP, right? But you don't know what the word protocol is, right? So we should understand the word protocol. I know that you can understand, you can identify the part domain name, but we don't know what the domain name is. So we should understand the real meaning of the word domain name. You all can identify the top level domain name, right? But again, we don't know the meaning, right? So we don't know what the word is, right? So we have to understand each and every word one by one, right? Okay. So let's take the protocol first, right? I have to explain the protocol first, right? So here, look here. I want to explain this word with the help of a small example. You can read those things later. Listen to me carefully. So assume this is the client computer. So you may think that it is Jew, right? So this is Jew, user or client computer. So this is the web server. You know, web servers have web pages. So I have added a web server here, right? Okay. So let's take a simple imagination, right? You can understand, very simple imagination. So assume this computer needs a specific website, right? So you open a web browser in your computer and type www.facebook.com, right? You type http :/www.facebook.com, right? You just type the URL. What happens now? Maybe after seconds, maybe within seconds, your website, that particular Facebook website, is on the screen. You type the URL, within a second, the particular website, you know, Facebook server may be thousands of kilometers away. We don't know where it is, but within a second, that particular website is displayed on your monitor. So it seems to be a, miracle, right? It seems to be a big thing, because you request to a particular web page. That web page is kept in a computer which is very far to you, but your computer identified that particular location and able to find the particular website. Maybe at the latter part of this unit, I will explain how this work is possible. Right, I can justify, or I can prove how the things are, going in the background when you type a website, right? So this is not the time to explain that part, right? The reason for having this picture is your computer requests that web page, that web server understood that one and responded with the website. I repeat it. Your computer requested that particular web page because you type http :/www.facebook.com. So which means you sent a request. So your computer requested a website to this web server. So what happened now? Two computers. One is your computer, the other one is web server. Two computers communicated each other, but both of them are machines. One is a client computer, other is a web server. But you know that communication became successful. Then only you could find the website. Yes, you got the website, right? So which means that particular communication between these two computers was successful. In order to make that communication successful, both these two computers need to follow some rules. My computer, which means this computer A, and this web server has to follow some basic rules. So set of rules. Those rules are called protocols, right? It is very simple. In a network or in internet, you may have many computers, servers connected. Whenever two computers communicate, both of them need to follow some rules, right? Then only the communication is possible. Those rules are called protocol. There may be hundreds, even thousands of protocols used in network, right? There are many protocols, but in your book, it is expected to remember 4 or 5 protocols, right? Not as depth, but they expect you to remember some of the introductions or basic idea about these 5 protocols, right? Okay. Before that, I tell you the reason for having thousands of protocols. I just mentioned that we have thousands of protocols in internet or in network? There is a significant reason. Look here. In this example, in my case, I request facebook.com, which is a website or web page. This server sends that. So tell me the information, or tell me the data which is exchanged between these two computers, which is sent or which is exchanged between these two computers. In this example, it's a web page. My computer asked the particular web page, Facebook server sent that. So now the Facebook website is a page, right? It's a website. So that website or web page was transmitted. So in this case, these two computers need to follow some rules in order to exchange web pages. Right? Wait. Assume that you want to communicate with your friend on a video call through Viber, right? You want to communicate with your friend through Viber in the form of video call, right? Video communication. So take that instance. Yes, there are two computers connected. It may be phone, smartphones are computers. Two computers are connected. Whenever two computers are connected, definitely there should be rules to be followed. Definitely there are protocols needed. But look here, in this instance, the data which are transmitted between these two computers is not web page. What is transmitted between these two phones? That is visual, maybe voice. So that may be a different data, right? Different form. Definitely there may be some different protocols needed. Have you understood? So similarly, whenever you have different data to be exchanged between two computers, you definitely need different protocols. You have thousands of protocols in internet, right? Okay. So look at the protocol which we used. All of them are HTTP. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, right? Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So hypertext is one word, but we extract two letters, right? H, then T, then T, P. Hypertext transfer protocol, right? So all these URLs have HTTP at the beginning. But look here, you should understand clearly. Maybe seconds ago, I explained the word protocol, not HTTP, right? I didn't explain the word HTTP. HTTP is one of the protocols. There may be thousands. All of these protocols, all of these thousands of protocols are what? They are set of rules. But they're used for different purposes, different data transmission, right? Okay, come to the point. HTTP, I just mentioned that it stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Look here, that word itself tells the story. Even I don't want to explain a single word. Look at that Hypertext Transfer Protocol. You all know the word protocol now. Protocol is a set of rules for exchanging something. So that is protocol. Hypertext transfer. Even you can understand the word transfer. That is simple English, transferring, exchanging, transmitting. So now we know that it is a set of rules for transmitting something. But the problem is, or the thing is, you have to understand the word or phrase, hypertext. That if you understood that, then you can understand the whole phrase. So what is hypertext? Hypertext. Hypertext is nothing, the content of a web page, right? Content of a web page. So hypertext refers text, images, videos, hyperlinks, maybe animations. All of them are what? All of them are content of web pages. Even though the word seems to be hypertext, so you may think that it is text. Yes, the word itself has the word text, but it doesn't mean that it is not. It is only text. It includes, yes, text, images, videos, whatever. All of them are hypertext. Now come to the whole word hypertext, transfer, protocol. It's very simple, right? It is a set of rules used to exchange or used to transfer what? Hypertext documents. What is hypertext document? Videos, images, text, pictures. So see, in my previous example, I requested Facebook website. Imagine the Facebook website. What does Facebook website have? Does it have text? Yes. Does it have image? Yes. Does it have video? Yes. Does it have any hyperlinks? Yes. So whenever you request to the Facebook server, those hypertext documents in the particular websites are transferred to your website, sorry, to your computer. That is HTTP. Have you understood? It's very simple, right? So HTTP is a protocol used to exchange hypertext documents. Remember, hypertext document means website contents. That's why every website, so every URL has this protocol at the beginning. So sometimes you can find an S in front, right? So if it is S, HTTPS, which means hypertext transfer protocols secure, right? Secure, which means protection, right? Secure. So if you are able to find a particular S at the beginning, right? So which means that particular URL is very safe for use. The URLs which do not have HTTPS may be insecure, right? So there may be some security issues. So websites like, look at them, facebook.com. So if it is facebook.com, look here, I want to copy this Facebook URL in a notepad. Listen to me. What is it? HTTPS, right? So because Facebook may put a platform for millions of users for interacting. So their personal information, so many data found in Facebook, that must be very secure, right? So they use HTTPS. Even if you try google.lk, I tried google.lk. This is Google website. I just want to copy the URL and paste here. Look here. HTTPS, because Google also is one of the popular websites where many users, thousands, millions of users engage. So that must be secure. So here, whenever the protocol has HTTPS, it means it is secure. If it is HTTP, you cannot expect such high security. Generally, if it is HTTPS, you can find a padlock symbol at the beginning, right? I hope that you are able to, view that there is a small icon of the padlock, which means, padlock is for locked, right? Padlock is for security, right? So it means HTTP, right? Sorry, HTTPS. Look here, Google. There is a padlock found. So that is HTTPS, right? So both HTTP, HTTPS are exactly same, almost same. But what is the difference? HTTPS has more security than HTTP. But otherwise, both HTTP and HTTPS are used for transmitting hypertext documents between a computer and a web server. Have you understood? So in the URL, I explain the meaning for protocol only. But still, we have domain name to be explained. We have top level domain name to explain. There is no need for explaining about a web page or resource name, because resource is something which we use all the time. So web page name not to be explained. And also I don't want to explain the path or folders. That is very practical. But definitely you should understand those two words, domain name and top level domain name, right? TLD and domain name, right? So today we covered the most important part. I took enough time to explain the parts of a URL. So I have taken my local computer and shown how the file path is found in a computer. Then we switch to the website and identify the path. So these are enough for today because the time is almost up. So better practice these things and go through the video again and understand the thing. There are some other things to be explained in the, still we are in the URL, right? This is not completed yet. So still we are in URL. Maybe in the next class, I may take some minutes to finish URL, right? So until then, it's enough, right? It's goodbye, right? Thank you.